What's up, guys? So, I wanted to talk about a question that has popped up since we first saw the trailer for the Clone Wars Season 7, and Ahsoka had her blue lightsabers, and everyone went, wait a minute, I thought they were green. They were green in the Ahsoka book. And since then, I've been saying I'm sure that Dave Filoni had a reason for it, and he gave us that reason in one of the Clone Wars breakdown videos officially put out by StarWars.com. One of our friends, actually, Thomas Harper, one of my trivia nemesis, he asked the question on Twitter and they picked it up. And what was the reasoning behind the blue lightsabers and how did it happen? And Dave said some surprising things.
He gave a really great answer, and I was like, oh my gosh, someone answered a question that the fans are actually like obsessing over.
Yeah, he answered it within universe and gave the story reason, which I really liked. He basically said Anakin didn't swap out the crystals, he just altered the way they were focused or attuned with the Force, which already is interesting and new to me. Mm-hmm. I think I always just assumed it's like, okay, you have a blue lightsaber crystal and you have this green one and you can just swap them in and out. I mean, that's how the Galaxy's Edge lightsabers work.
Yeah.
But he's saying that you can basically alter the color of a lightsaber crystal with the Force.
Yeah. And up until then, it was like, well, you can bleed it to be red if you're bad, or you can purify it to be white, which Ahsoka does in the book. But I don't know. It sounds like if you're strong enough in the Force, especially if you're Anakin, you have this ability.
Yeah, like, I do wonder if it's something every Jedi can do. I mean, this immediately made me think of Fallen Order, because when you make your double-bladed lightsaber, or when you fix your lightsaber on Ilum, like, you can choose the color, and Cal is basically just, like, holding it differently. And I just thought it was one of those video game things where you just choose your color and that's it, but you can continue to change it and alter it throughout the game, which again, I was just like, yeah, video game customization. But I mean, that could be seen as how it works. That if you want to just mix it up one day, Mace Windu could have been like, I'm feeling yellow.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, so like when the crystal chooses a person and it takes on a color, maybe that's just kind of subconsciously that person's favorite color and they like never ever want to change it.
Yeah. I mean, it made me also think of Rey's yellow/gold saber at the end of The Rise of Skywalker. Like, I assume that's a new construction, a new crystal, and maybe she's like, you know what, I want this to be very, very different, and it's gonna be yellow.
Yeah. And we even talked about this a little while back about how it's probably just an effect, but it kind of cycles through a couple colors when she turns it on, that maybe that lightsaber can do whatever color it wants. And it's like one of those clicky pens where you choose a different color at any given time.
Yeah.
But that was very interesting and surprising that they just kind of like dropped that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's of course the fans are going to make a bigger deal out of it than they are, but.
Well, and it's interesting the way that Dave explained it, because he explained it in both a pro and a con kind of way.
So yeah, the story reason. So that's in universe how Anakin did it. Same crystals, just
use the Force to alter the
focusing or the frequency. I forget the exact language he used.
The focus and frequency. Yeah.
He changed something about the crystals themselves so they were blue and not green.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he got into like, here's why I did it as Dave Filoni. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to show that Anakin was still constantly thinking about Ahsoka, was tinkering with her lightsabers, and it was just kind of this, like, he misses her, and this is all he has left of her. And so he made them more like his lightsaber. And it's like kind of a sweet and kind of a thing at the same time.
Well, it's, I guess the pro side is that, yeah, he was constantly thinking about her, hoping that she would one day return. And also, it's to show, like, that they still had a bond up
Yes.
until the very end. And he wanted Ahsoka to have something that really reminded everyone of Anakin. But also, he explained that it was also kind of an ego thing
Yeah.
for Anakin to do something like that. And it's a little bit selfish. Like, oh, these could be better. And they could be like the color of mine, so I'm going to change them.
Yeah, and I mean, that's like a very personal thing to mess with, is a Padawan's lightsaber, or any Jedi's lightsaber. It's like Ahsoka built those with her own hands, made them the way she wanted them, and then Anakin comes along, and I think Ahsoka thankfully took it as like, this is nice, but it does show his controlling side. And the way the video puts it is that, like, when he wants to show he cares, he often goes a little bit too far. And it is kind of an ego thing that I hadn't thought about at first, but I like that in the story it kind of goes both ways, where it's like, that's nice, but it's a little much. It's a little thoughtless and borderline not mean to Ahsoka, but
It's invasive.
invasive, yeah.
And, you know, it's the same stuff with him and Padme. Like, he has so much love for Padme that he would inevitably go to the dark side, become a Sith Lord, in the, like, with the thought of, oh, I can save Padme's life if I do this. And it's, I don't know, Anakin's reasoning isn't all there.
Yeah. So since I've been talking about it this whole time and been like, okay, look, it's fine, it's going to contradict the book, but there's probably a reason for it. Do you like this reasoning? Was it enough to alter the book?
I don't really mind it at all. And honestly, like, not as many people have read the Ahsoka book as probably have been watching the Clone Wars.
Right.
And I love the Ahsoka book, but it's just like a little change that is like, yeah, from now on, copies of the Ahsoka book maybe will be changed, or maybe they'll just leave it, and people will continue to ask us this question for years and years to come.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those things where it wouldn't... Changes don't bother me as long as they don't alter what the story itself means. And like you said, I think the lightsabers are mentioned like once or twice at the start of the book, and it's just like Ahsoka buried her green lightsabers
Yeah.
and like said goodbye to them. And
Honestly, like, it's more about the white sabers that she inevitably ends up with in the
Right.
book.
the only change off the top of my head in Star Wars that I can think of that really bugs me is the Han Greedo scene, because I think that Greedo shooting first alters what that scene means.
But McClunky.
That change is fine. I mean, at this point, who cares? Keep going. But I think it changes Han's arc in the story, and that's why that change bugs me. This making the lightsabers blue doesn't change anything about the Ahsoka book, and I think it makes the Siege of Mandalore better. So it's very easy for me to just say, like, okay, when she says green in the Ahsoka book, she means blue,
Right.
and that's it. Yeah, that's really all there is to it.
Yeah, we just wanted to make this video because we were so shocked that Dave Filoni answered a question that we see all the time, and we've been talking about it, and the fans have kind of been like wondering about it, and he was kind enough to give us an in-universe and out-of-universe reason.
Yeah, and so many times we get questions, and it's like, I'm just going to do my best to speculate, and it's so fun when like, not only is it a fan question, but it's like, oh, one of our friends
Yes.
actually got this answer for us. So thanks, Thomas, for asking it. We'll also put a link in the description of this video to the original one we've been talking about, in case you want to see it all for yourself. Have it explained to you by Dave Filoni instead of us over obsessing about it. But yeah, I hope that answers that question for you. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel,
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.